Where are we going?
We're going to see the whale shark!
In this episode, we take our first trip to Isla Mujeres. It's going to be a great trip because we're doing the whale shark tour, and I'll just let Maria tell you how excited she is about it.
We made it to, well, kind of. We're in Cancun. Almost to Isla.
Yep. Halfway there.
We're waiting on the 9 o'clock ferry to Isla.
Yep.
Stopped and got drinks at this place here. Anyway, we're here.
To get to Isla Mujeres, we flew into Cancun Airport and then took the ferry over to Isla. One of the first things we learned when researching this trip is that a lot of people say don't take a taxi from Cancun Airport. They can be sketchy and you can get ripped off. So we went with a car service called CARM, C-A-R-M. They seem to be one of the more popular services. We reserved our car and our ferry tickets through them. We paid online, and we even had them bring us a couple of beers for the trip over. They were waiting there when we landed. We got right into the air-conditioned van and headed to the ferry terminal. Definitely recommend using CARM or a similar car service.
I want lights like that on the bottom of our boat.
After about a 30-minute ferry trip to Isla, we grabbed our bags and headed for the hotel. It was a short walk to our hotel, the Bartolome Oceanfront Suites. I was a little concerned because it was very close to the ferry terminal, and we'd read some reviews that said it was loud. There was some noise from the restaurant below, but it wasn't bad, and the location was really convenient, right in the middle of everything. So out here on the balcony, check it out. Nice view of the pool right on top of the pool. See, there's a boat docked behind us. Nice little pool area. The restaurant down there behind us. The ferry terminal is right over there. You can see all the people coming off the ferry. Pretty awesome view.
Yeah, there is just a crazy amount of boat traffic out there.
One of the things that we noticed as soon as we got there is that there are a ton of boats on the west side of Isla. You've got the ferries, you've got tour boats, dive boats, sailboats, fishing boats. It is absolutely hectic, but it's fun to watch. We got in pretty late Saturday, but we were up and at 'em Sunday morning to head to the dive shop. On the way, we stopped at Cafe Mogagua, which is a great little place for breakfast. They had fantastic food, cool atmosphere. It's definitely worth checking out.
Right here, right? We're on our way to, where are we going? Our first dive in Isla! I've been so excited! Is this the right street?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Why are you excited?
Because it's our first day diving after 174 days at the surface. Yay!
After a great breakfast, we headed to the dive shop to check in, get our equipment, and book some additional dives. We went with Aqua Adventures Eco Divers, and they were great. The office staff was fantastic, the crew and the dive guides were awesome, and we had a very good week with them. They also booked our whale shark tour and a couple of specialty dives. So if you're diving in Isla, look up Aqua Adventures Eco Divers. Our first dive was Sunday afternoon, so we went back to the hotel, grabbed our gear, and headed for the dive shop. Then onto the dock, which was absolutely packed. Here's another example of how crowded the bay was with boats. And really, Isla was pretty packed all week. If you're looking for a quiet getaway, this is not the place. At least if you're staying up north. I mean, there did seem to be some quieter areas in the middle and the south of the island, but in town in the north it was packed, especially around the North Beach area. But that was fine with us. We wanted to dive, and that's where the diving is for the most part, or at least the dive shops. There's a lot to see and do in the north. Another thing that we'd read about Isla is that you have to have cash everywhere. We didn't experience that at all. The restaurants, bars, and shops that we went to all took credit cards. The one exception that I can remember was a North Beach bar with the worst service ever, and they only took cash. So we were happy to have one drink and move on. And I do think there are some places where we might have gotten a little bit better price if we paid in pesos, but we got by fine all week using US dollars and credit cards, and I got a better exchange rate on my credit card, so we didn't have any problems with that. I was due to renew my passport this year, and I got caught up in the horrific passport renewal delay that was going on earlier in the year in the U.S. It took me 12 weeks to get my passport back. So Sunday afternoon, after 174-day surface interval, we were finally getting back in the water. The dive sites around Isla Mujeres are absolutely teeming with marine life. Not a lot of unusual sightings, mostly just pretty common Caribbean fish, but we saw them by the thousands, and it was really fantastic to see such a healthy amount of marine life. As you can probably tell, the current was moving us along pretty fast here. In fact, it was ripping pretty good all week. And we were doing drift dives for the most part, which means that the boat would drop us off in one spot, then we'd drift with the current, and the boat would pick us up wherever we surfaced. But there isn't a well-defined wall like in Cozumel, so depending on what you wanted to see, our dive plan wasn't always a straight line, which means that there were times where we would swim into the current for part of the dive. I spotted an eagle ray in the distance as we were cooking along on our safety stop, so all in all, it was a pretty great first day. When we were looking at hotels on the island, we narrowed it down to two, and one was on the east side of the island, and the one we ended up staying at was on the west side. We were really happy with our choice of hotels. It had a great view, it was convenient to everything, but man, it was hot while we were on the island. And to be fair, it was hot everywhere. I think it hit 100 degrees back in Houston every day for a couple of months, so it was a hot summer. But we noticed that on the east side, with the winds coming from the east, it was a lot cooler on the island. We found a restaurant called Suenos de Marfil, which looked out on the ocean on the east side. They had really good food, a fun atmosphere, and great views. And it was much cooler over there. I think we ate there 2 or 3 times that week. As crowded and crazy as the dock was on Sunday, on Monday morning it was dead. It seems like a lot of people just make day trips over to Isla, so weekends are more crowded. It picked up later in the week, but it was a ghost town on Monday morning. On our second day of diving, we went to MUSA, which is the Museo Subaquático de Arte. It's billed as an underwater art museum, and it's really a collection of about 400 sculptures that were sunk between 2008 and 2013 as an artificial reef to draw some of the tourists away from the natural reefs, which were getting to be very stressed from all of the people. And when Maria mentioned booking this dive, I thought, okay, that'll be kind of cool, but I'm really looking forward to the whale sharks. I was actually blown away at how amazing this dive was. We did an entire video just on MUSA, and I'll link that above if you want to check it out. There are a lot of different installations, and there are some that you can scuba dive and some that you can only snorkel. So it's good for divers and snorkelers. Some of the installations are fun or funny or really unusual. Some are incredibly poignant and haunting. If you've never dove or snorkeled with sculptures, it's a really an unusual experience and definitely worth checking out. On Monday after the MUSA dive, we rented a golf cart to go explore the island. We didn't have dives scheduled until Tuesday afternoon, so we rented it for 24 hours so we could use it Monday afternoon and then do some more exploring Tuesday morning.
Look at the craziness that is Isla Mujeres. This is the main road. I can't remember what it's called, but I'll tell you later. And believe it or not, the boat traffic looks very similar to this too on the water. Lots and lots of golf carts and lots of scooters. But the golf cart is the way to go for sure, because it is a hot one to be walking out there. Say hi, babe!
Hi, babe.
Oh, we should stop. Well, maybe where it's less crowded.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's find out. Get out of the craziness a little bit.
Yep. We're coming up on the ferry, which is why it's so congested over here.
That's right.
Yep, everybody gets off the ferry. They start looking for food and drinks and golf carts. This was actually our probably 5th or 6th place that we stopped to find a golf cart that we could rent for 24 hours. So we should have probably pre-booked one. But that's okay. You were tired. There is a Senior Frogs in every little island, I believe, here. There it is right there. There's the craziness of the ferry terminal. Look at all these people just piling out of there. Piling out. We're coming up on our hotel or Airbnb. It's actually an Airbnb, not really a hotel.
Those guys are crazy expensive.
Yep, 2,400.
For 4
Yeah.
Versus
There it is.
1,700.
Yep, Ocean Suites Bartolome. This is where, that's where we're staying. We decided to stop here and eat at the Soggy Peso, which is somewhere back here. Somewhere. This way.
Our first stop was the Soggy Peso, which I guess is a cousin to the Soggy Dollar Bar in BVI. So, of course, we had to have painkillers. Would definitely recommend having 1 or 2 or more of those. We also grabbed a snack there, and then we were off, headed to the south end of the island.
Maybe.
We made it to Punta Sur and saw the sights there, though we didn't pay the extra money to go into the park at the very south end of the island. Honestly, it was brutal hot out, and both of us were exhausted from being in the sun. So we didn't stay there for too long, but we did stop to take in the amazing views and check out the local wildlife. Punta Sur has great views, and it's a cooler area, so it's definitely worth checking out. And we would have spent more time there if it was cooler, but we had a lot more exploring to do.
But Isla Mujeres, what does Isla Mujeres mean, people? Island of women.
All right, so we found a boat for sale here in Isla. We're going to take a look at it. Here comes the big reveal. There's even a for sale sign on it. We can call them. What do you guys think? Let us know.
We have actually been looking for a sailboat for a while, but that one is way more work than we want. We never really found out what the story with this boat was. It seemed like it had just washed up, maybe within a day or two before this. You know, we talked to folks at the dive shop, and nobody really seemed to know what was going on. So who knows where it came from or how it ended up there. After a couple more really good dives Tuesday afternoon, a Wednesday morning, it was time for what we hoped would be the highlight of the trip.
Where are we going, baby? Where are we going?
We're going to see the whale sharks in manta rays. And then afterwards, I didn't realize that they were going to take us to Playa Norte. So that's nice. Have some ceviche on the beach, in the water. I'm going to be in the water using the Mexican table.
We did an entire video on our whale shark experience, and I'll link to that above. And if you're thinking about seeing the whale sharks, definitely check that out. We included all kinds of tips and things to do to make your whale shark experience even more amazing. We got up early that morning, headed to the dive shop, then out to the boat dock. It was about an hour ride out to the whale shark site, and we were happy to see fins on the surface when we got out there. They have new rules effective in 2023 where only 2 people per boat can be in the water at one time. So each pair of us was given a number, and we geared up and got ready to go.
We're number 1. We're ready to go. Prepare my so amazing. Beautiful. Oh my god, that was beautiful. That was so perfect. And he was just swimming real slow too. Oh.
After our amazing dives with the whale sharks, we headed to Playa Norte to hang out in the water, eat some ceviche, and bask in the glory of seeing whale sharks. If you ever get a chance to do that, absolutely take it. It was so amazing seeing those huge creatures just a few feet away, gliding by in the open ocean. If you're interested, we get a lot more information and footage in our whale shark video. Check that out. So we went to Playa Norte after the whale shark experience, and we also made a trip there later in the week where we just kind of hung out. Not a big fan. I mean, you can see there are so many people there. It was just shocking, the crowds there in the water, on boats, and also on the beach. So beach isn't really my thing anyway, and I thought Playa Norte was just way too crowded. Thursday morning, sitting here on the dock with everybody that's diving on the boat with us today. Yeah. That's it. Just us.
We have concierge service today.
Yep. Private dive boat today. Gotta love that. We were excited about diving on Thursday because not only were we the only two on the boat, but we were diving Punta Sur, which is supposed to be a great dive with a chance to see some big pelagics and a lot of really cool stuff. Unfortunately, the current was ripping that day, and you can see we're just being tossed along here. You can't even stop if you wanted to. And then towards the end of the dives, the visibility really tailed off. So, kind of disappointing. Although Punta Sur was disappointing, the dive site we did after that, Media Luna, was pretty cool. They had swim-throughs, there was a cool cavern, and just the topography in general on that dive was great. I'd really like to go back and do that one if the current and the visibility were better. Day of diving, we got to do a wreck dive. They took us out to the Ultra Freeze, which was a 200-foot long cargo ship that caught fire and was severely burned but didn't sink. So in 1979, they towed it out to sea and sunk it in about 100 feet of water for an artificial reef. And man, was there some cool marine life down there. There were hundreds of tarpon, big schools of horse-eyed jacks, spadefish, and a couple of huge lionfish. Aqua Adventures told us that they were the only ones that take divers out to that site. So if you can't find anyone to take you, check with Aqua Adventures because this was an amazing dive. Sooner than we liked, it was time to hop the ferry back to Cancun and fly back home. We had such an amazing time on Isla Mujeres. There's so much to do there. There's good diving, whale shark experience. Definitely check out MUSA. A lot of great food, fun places to have a drink, and a whole island to explore. Hope you enjoyed it. I know we did.